Okay, let's do some more Koans on a Friday. So I was just going through and cleaning up the Koans that fail between sessions, and I thought I had them all, but I hadn't, so I need to fix this. This is measure object 34, should be 663. And then we ended on AboutModules the last time. And those seem to fail a bit as well. It seems my third module was at version 0.0 and it didn't like it. It pestered through an error on this where it didn't want to index into a null array for whatever reason. So let's see if that... I tried setting the version of third module to null, but I don't think that will help anywhere. Anyway, yes, it did. No, we're still on where object. Where object 369. There's some potential for making PSKoans a bit more stable between sessions. I think just maybe a general cleanup of all the Koans that utilizes stuff on the systems that change between sessions and even within sessions, because of my home path changes a lot, the imported modules changes a lot, so we probably need some refactoring on a lot of places. So we're back on AboutModules finally, and this is the one that I was struggling a bit with because it doesn't want to index into a null array. But that's a bit weird because it passes the first one. Ah, there's a typo here. That's a bug. Needs to be reported, I guess. Have to make a mental note of that. So it's just the weekend now, and then it's PSKonf. So next week will be busy and filled with quite a lot of interesting sessions and probably a lot of fun too. I'm looking extremely much forward to the Powershell conference in Hanover. But once again, we wait for Measure Karma. There we go. So now we didn't pass. So for some reason it's now 4.8.1. So is it pester? Oh, how is the first one? No, because we had, yeah, it's pester. So it would be 4.8.1. There we go. And then the sixth module type, yeah, let's see if it's still a manifest. I should probably have run just the Measure Karma on the topic. There we go. And then it expects null, so the 6th module is nothing now. It's not a null. So why is this happening? Is there a typo here I'm not seeing? No. Let's do a 0 to 10. None of those would be null on There's no audio? Can you hear anything now? Oh, still no sound. That's weird. Not even music. That's weird. That's weird. I can hear my voice when I play the stream. I can hear my voice when I play the stream. I can hear my voice. There's going to be echo now. But you can only hear. Oh, okay. So you can hear me now? That's weird. I wonder what that was. Well, yeah. There you go. There hasn't been any... Yeah, I'll listen to the playback afterwards. At least before it goes on YouTube. But, yeah, I don't know. Don't know. At least it works now. So for whatever reason, Koans or Pasture expects this to be, well, this to be null, while it actually isn't if you run it. That's weird. Is this? No, there's no typo here either. And it still expects null. That's weird. Let's see if it's fixed if I do put a null. So now I went through it. That's weird. Let's yeah, let's not linger on that. There was a bit of bugs in the first one. So now we can finally start from where we left off the other day. We are on AboutModules, and now we're doing it can filter by module name. No, we did this one as well. Which one are we at? We are at 89. Oh, we did a lot of them. We're on this now. It finds modules that can be installed. So we have a before all on find. So we did a couple of find modules. Yeah, okay. Now so before all, we do get module list available. And module. We do a find module, we mock find module. This will effectively produce similar output to the find module commandlet while only searching the local modules instead of online ones. Mock is a pass-through command that will be covered later. Yeah, that's okay. So we mock find module, and we do module find module name pass-through. Select first. And then module name should be pass-through. And it lists the latest version of the module, which I think is 4.8.1. We can do module list pass-through. Yeah, it's 4.8.1. And it indicates which repository stores the module. So unless an additional repository has been configured, all modules from find module will come from the PowerShell gallery. So blank should be module repository. In this case, we inject PS gallery no matter where it came from with the mock. Yeah, Koans. Hi Shane. We had a bit of technical issues to start with, so you haven't really missed much. There was this should be here. There was some weird bugs, of course. That's not uncommon. Description. Okay, so we need I can. Is that better? I need to close this, I guess. Was that better? Yeah, great. So, module description is quite big. Do we need to do an expand? No, we can't. Let's just cheat. I'm not going to copy the entire module description from Pastor. And then we move on to new module. New module is rarely used in practice, but is capable of dynamically generating a module in memory without needing a file disk. So it creates a dynamic module object. So we do module equals a new module, name PSKoans test module with an empty script block. And the module variable should not be null or empty. And it has many properties with null defaults. For most modules, module base lists their primary storage location. So this would be null then, I assume. Let's run this just to test it. Let's run this. I haven't actually used new module before myself, So if we do null equals module dot module base, so that's not null. So it still lists it in the module base in my home folder, but I assume that since the it description points at having null defaults, I think maybe Joel expects this to be null. Maybe it's different in PS6 or PS5 or something. I don't know. Let's try in Windows PowerShell, see if it's different there. Equals. Let's just copy it. Module base. No, it's still not null. Okay, then I don't understand the it text. But I would assume that he would point to a null default that a normal module wouldn't have. But it seems that it's not that case for module base, at least. And it supplies the module with a GUID based random path. So the module path. Okay, so it gives it a base and a path, and it's based on a GUID. So thing is, since we run new module, and I assume that this is going to fail anyway because we create the module variable within its own statement. So I don't think the module variable would exist outside. And then after all, we remove the module. That's okay. But that means also that this path is probably random on every measure karma as well. So let's do that and see if we get any fails. Yeah, so we're on. Yeah, so it did expect null. Does it expect null because when Joel has tested it, he has run it like this and then not have had access to the module variable, perhaps. Let's do see if we can fix it. So we do a before all, and then we move this line into before all, and then PS script analyzer kicks for some because it doesn't understand pasture. Let's test now, but then we would still have we would still fail this one, I assume, because when it creates a GUID based random path, then it would be different on each measure karma. So this is not possible to make work. So let's just make a mental note to create a bug report and then cheat. we don't need the debug. So import module as damage or karma. Yep, that's cheating hard. But this on every time we run measure karma, this will be different. So it's impossible to solve this Koan without cheating. So we need to create a bug report in the PSKoans repository on that. So it's most definitely cheating. You're right. Yeah. I'm going to, well, if anyone else wants to do it, that's okay. But if no one else does it, I'll open a couple of, unless they already exist, a couple of issues after the stream. We've done that a lot during this series. But it's great to be able to help ironing out the creeks. Creeks? Is that correct? English? No, creeks. Yeah, probably. You understand what I mean. Let's move on with import module then. Import module is an auxiliary commandlet that imports the requested module into the current session. It is capable of both importing and then nothing. Iron out the kinks, yeah, there you go. So, and here we have some text missing, I guess. So, that's another bug report. So, context, importing installed modules. And here he does what we had to fix up here. So we run a before all, and then we create the module in the before all. And then it does not produce output. Import module does not produce output yet. So you import the module that we create, and that should be null. And then it imports the module into the current session. So then we can do an imported module equals get module, and then the name of the module we created. But it contains no commands, so imported module exported commands.keys should be null. Imported module.name should be this. And then we have context importing module from file. We have a before all where we create a module script with a function called test module function that is supposed to do something, which is blank, and then we export the function as a module member, and then we create a file in the Pester test drive containing this text, and then we import it. So once again, it does not produce any output when you import it, and then it imports the module into the current session. So we do a get module name something, test module, and imported module should not be null or empty. And it makes the module's exported commands available for use. So this would be an array containing only this function that we exported. And then after all, we remove the module. And I assume that there has been some sort of plan to make the test module function run. But there isn't, so we don't really have anything to fill in here. But we can just create the hello world. to not make this fail. And then run measure karma. So we have a failure somewhere. Expected null or empty book got null on line 169. Well, null is null or empty, isn't it? So this is probably also a bug because I think Pester has, yeah. I'm just going to make a comment on what was there before. I believe Pester has changed how this is done. Before they accepted this, and now Pester wants this. And then we expected null but got the test module function, so that was 178. It imports the module exports a module member, so this shouldn't be null, but it is. So why is it null? Because imported module only exists in this it context. That's why this is null. So we would have to do this once again. No, we don't have to do that again. We only have to do this once again. This one was mighty bug riddled, wasn't it? And now we completed it because we got the divide by zero bug, which is now fixed but it isn't released yet. So if we do a complete measure karma, we should have to wait for a while, but at least we should be able to move on to the next Koan. Let's check. To see if there are any bugs. About the module while we wait for measure karma. About modules, yeah, there's a lot of them. Yep, so all of these are reported already, so they can be worked on, up for grabs. Nice. So next one is about lists. So that means that we are done with Commandlets 1, and we are now on constructs and patterns. Yeah, I've seen that. He has been ahead of me, so he has found all the ones that we've found on stream lately. Has already been imported by RFG. if that's how he says his name. Yeah. But at least we're done with Commandlets 1, so that's nice. We're on to AboutLists. So we're done with Foundations and Commandlets 1, and now we are on Constructs and Patterns. Let's remove this again so we can see some more. So let's see how far into this we come. Well, it seems that Commandlets 2 is probably later in the positions then. Yeah, it's on 401. So Commandlets 2 is the last one. We'll have to wait, Shane. We have a couple more first. Okay, let's. I've been streaming for actually half an hour, but I think we're going to move on a bit longer today, just because it's there was a holiday yesterday in Norway, so today is well, it's in Norwegian. It's referred to as, I guess, a squeeze day. So a lot of people have the day off. So following that, there's not been plenty to do at work today. So let's stream a bit more. So we're on about lists. Lists are flexible generic collections. Arrays have one critical weakness. They are immutable collections. While the members within them can change, the number of items they hold cannot. Consider the following code. Array equals 0 and 1. Array equals array plus 2. And then array plus equals 3. So, if the number of items in an array can't change, what happens here? You might think it should fail with an error, but it won't. Actually, in PowerShell, the addition operator for arrays is defined something like: take the elements in this array and the things we're adding in and build a new array with them. This is very convenient, but it can create a problem. This gets significantly more expensive if you need to do it a lot. For large collections, adding items to them becomes very slow to do. So, introducing lists. Lists are generic collections, which means that they have a defined type when created and will only hold objects of that type. Other types will either be converted or cause an error to be thrown if there is no available conversion. However, all objects in PowerShell inherit from PSObject or object, so a list with that typing will hold any mix of data types. There are several ways to create a list object, but we'll just cover the main methods. For more details, check out the available overloads, which you can see by executing the following line as is in the PowerShell console. So we can get a list of all the overloads by running system collections generic list and then a PS object and then a new one. And we have 3 overloads. We have a new with nothing. We have a new with int capacity, so a number of capacity, and then a new with an enumerable collection. So, describe lists. Context, strict typing. It can enforce strict typing on its contents. So we create a new integer only list. We do int list equals new object system collections generic list with an integer typing. So we do int list add 7, int list add 5.34. Items are accessed by index just like arrays. So if we force this to be int, will it actually add the 534? So it will. But it will round it down. So that means that this would be 7, but this would be 5. So I guess it rounds it up if it's over 5.5. I assume. Let's try that. Just for good measure. Yeah, so it rounds up at 5.5. And it will convert items into its data type when possible, which is what's happening here, I guess. So we create a string list, which is a list containing strings, and then new. Then we add fill me in, which I guess we are going to have to fill something in. And then we add 12. So what happens if we add a number to a string type list? It will just do a toString on it, I guess. Then we'll get 12, and then fill me in. That's a new one. He has, there's been blanks or underscores earlier. Maybe some other ones have written this. Yeah, that's what that was my reaction as well, Shane. Maybe it isn't Joel. Maybe Joel hasn't written this. I don't know. It's a bit inconsistent. Let's just create an issue on it. And then we move on to context loose typing. It can accept loose typing. What's loose typing? Okay. We can convert from an array. Object or PS object type lists hold any types of items. Yeah, so that's loose typing. Now I understand. List is a list of objects containing 1 and 2. Items must be added to lists using their .add or addRange method. addRange takes an array or other collection object. So we do list addRange and then an array, and then we add 12.5, but list 0 is still going to be this, because it accepts any type, and it wasn't added using the addRange method. And then list 6 should be 12.5. So this would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 6. How can... So does it accept... It does accept an array when you create it, because we have an overload which accepts a collection. Maybe it does then, because that would make 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's measure it and see. Topic about lists. Yeah. So it does accept an array when you create it, but after that you have to use add or addRange, so in that case addRange to be able to add an array. Okay, well, nice to know. And then we have context removing list entries. It allows you to remove entries. Lists have a few methods for removing entries. We have .remove value, .remove at index. Yeah, you haven't played with it already, Shane? I've been running it for at least a couple of hours. I did have some issues with the typeset in Oh My Posh, the Oh My Posh prompt. So I loaded it into Terminus for now. So that worked fine. It's a bit small, but it's nice. It just doesn't seem like a big change from 6.2.1, at least in normal use. I know the changelog is quite big. PS version table. So we have preview 1. So it still says, no, it's not terminal. I'm not on Windows Insiders. So this is a terminal emulator called Terminus that I've been using for a while. It's much better. I like it a lot because I can tab. I've liked it a lot better than the built-in Windows terminals. Yeah, it's okay. There are some bugs, as you can see. When you change between windows, the prompts disappear. Sometimes, other times not, but it's still a product. It's an open source. Yeah, Powershell is life. That's why we always remember to include hearts in our prompts. So we weren't here to talk about PowerShell 7, though someone probably should. Yeah. Let's move on with AboutLists and then see where we go. No worries. No worries. I am easily sidetracked. Anyways, back to lists. Lists have a few methods for removing entries. We have .remove and then .remove at and .remove range, among others. So we create a list, which is a list of strings containing this. Oh, someone is following. Ooh, this is nice. Finally get to see the... Of course I missed it again. Was it Agent Peon? Thanks for following. Yeah, see you later, Shane. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Me too. I follow everyone streaming PowerShell. So list index 3 should be 18. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So that would be 18. Then we do a list remove at and then index 3. So that would probably move everything down. So that would make hello the new index 3. And we need those. And list 1 should be 15. So it would be. The .remove method returns true if the item was removed and false if it couldn't be found or removed. So we do list remove 15. That should be true. But will it remove all 15s? It probably will. So now that would make hello. Since we already removed 18, then we remove both 15s. So that would make hello the right answer for this one as well. Or does it just remove the first one it finds? I think we should just measure to... Well, that's nice. 9th snail. You should try Koans yourself at some point. I don't think I ever showed how to install it, but it's just install module PSKoans, and then you do measure karma meditate to start, and it will open VS Code for you at the correct place, and you can go from there. Yeah. Yeah. Learning by doing is probably the way most admins learn it, I guess. Because you get forced to do it, and then you realize that you are probably lazy and you want to start automating stuff and just build it from there. So did we... Yeah, so it expected 15, but it was low. So it actually only removes the first one it sees. So then it would be 15, because then it would just remove the first one and not the second one. So index 1 would be 15. Then index 2 would be hello, because we removed 18. Now, see if you can reduce the list down to only 2 values using the remove range index count method. Feel free to add an additional pipe. Should be test if you need it to guide your way. So we do need to do a list. This is PS 6.2.1. Running in my VS Code at the moment. I just installed PS7 this morning. Probably going to start trying to use that as my main shell. But yeah, I haven't gotten around to it. No, it's not painful to install. I use Chocolatey, so I think I actually have the install here already. So I just did, it's a bit small, I guess. But with Chocolatey installed, you can just do, where are we? Here we are, Choco install PowerShell preview. Chocolatey is sort of like, if you're familiar with the Unix or Linux systems, Ubuntu for instance has apt-get or apt. Yeah, so it's kind of like apt-get for Windows. Yeah, so it's a package manager. So it's open source. It's on chocolatey.org, I think. And it makes it quite easy to, yeah, it's a package manager. It uses NuGet in the background. It's very, very handy. So I have quite a lot managed by Chocolatey now. I'm not going to claim to be a big expert, because it's not that long ago I started using it myself. But I use Chocolatey to manage a lot of the stuff that I use on command line, at least. So for instance, Git and PowerShell, and also PuTTY, Python, Terminus, the terminal emulator, the console application I had on just recently is installed via Chocolatey, and also VLC. So, and then you just do Choco upgrade all regularly, and then it will upgrade everything for you when it gets patched. It's quite nice. So moving back to Koans, we need to use remove range to put out everything but 12 and 10. So we want to have 12 and 10. So 12 is the first one and 10 is the last one. So that means that we can remove range, start on 1 and then remove, so this one is gone already, so remove 1, 2, 3, 4, oops, 5, 6. So it would start at index 1, remove index 1, which would be 15, this would be this one. And then this is already gone. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, including the first one. Yeah, I think that would be correct. Let's measure it. Oh, not the entire thing done. We are going to be stuck here for a while. Yeah, so we were right, basically. So let's move on to, it allows you to remove multiple entries based on conditions. So we create a list, which is a list of strings, and the strings would be all the numbers from 1 to 11, typecasted to string. This method takes a lambda expression in C#, which translates to a script block for PowerShell. It also outputs true or false depending on whether elements were removed, so we'll check that. So we do list.removeAll, and then in the remove all we do a script block. So the input variable representing each entry must be named or use args. So we do param $_ remove everything that contains the number 9 essentially. So we do $_ match 9. The output must boil down to a true false, or it will be coerced to be true or false. And then it should be true because it has removed something. And remaining entries is 1, 2, blank, blank, 5, blank, 7, blank, 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 11. So list should be remaining entries. So we remove all 9s. And in this string, there is only one 9. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no 9, and 10. Yep, 1, 2, 7 is the next one. So that was correct. And then we have a list remove all again. We do a param $_ and then we need to change this expression to make the assertions below true. So we want to remove everything but the remaining primes. So we can do $_ modulus 2 equals 0. That would give us all the remaining, that would match true on all the remaining square numbers, and that would remove 2, it would remove 4, it would remove 6, and it would remove 8 and 10, so it would give us this list. Yes, that was right. Okay, I'm gonna run a full measure karma, but then I'm going to call it a day, I think. It became a 1 hour stream today, but that's good. I'll get it up on YouTube as well, and then I'll see if I can create the issues of the stuff that we found today that wasn't already made. But let's see. It takes longer and longer and longer every time to run measure karma. I think we're up to at least a minute now, and I am running out of stuff to talk about. There we go. So now the next one would be about string builder. So we'll do that the next stream. I don't know when I'm going to be able to do it. Next week is PSKoans, Powershell conference in Hanover. So I'm traveling there on Monday, and the conference is Tuesday to Friday. So that's going to be an exciting week. But I don't think there would be a lot of streaming going on. Thanks a lot. I am only participating, so I'm going to listen on all the excellent speakers. No worries. Have a nice weekend, everyone. Yeah, I'll see you next time. So bye.